December 23, 1913. Most Americans are already asleep, dreaming about Christmas morning. Outside the Capitol, snow is falling. Inside, the building feels like a tomb. The House chamber is almost empty. No cameras, no C-SPAN, no live stream. Just a handful of tired congressmen who didn't make it home for the holidays. At 4:42 p.m., a bill is brought to the floor. Passes in minutes. The Senate rubber stamps it an hour later. By 6:02 p.m., Woodrow Wilson signs it in the Oval Office with almost nobody watching. The Federal Reserve Act is now law. You were taught this fixed America's money problems forever. Tonight, I'm going to show you it did the exact opposite. Tonight, you're going to see the 117-year-old scam that still owns every single dollar in your bank account right now. Let's rewind 3 years. November 1910. A private train pulls out of Hoboken, New Jersey after dark. No press, no manifest. Shades drawn, 9 men are on board. Between them, they control more wealth than the bottom 90% of Americans combined then and now. You know some of the names. Nelson Aldrich, Republican senator, Rockefeller family by marriage. Paul Warburg, Wall Street's genius from Kuhn, Loeb & Co. Frank Vanderlip, president of what is now Citibank. Henry Davison and Benjamin Strong. J.P. Morgan's top lieutenants, their destination. A private hunting resort on Jekyll Island, Georgia, owned by J.P. Morgan himself. For 9 days, they locked themselves in a mansion. No staff allowed in the meeting rooms. No notes leave the building. What they write on that island becomes the Federal Reserve System. But to understand why they had to meet in secret, you have to understand one simple thing about money. Imagine money is ducks in a pond. Before 1913, every dollar was tied to a real golden duck. There were only so many golden ducks in the world. You couldn't just make more appear. Banks hated that. Limited gold equals limited loans equals limited interest they could charge. So these 9 guys designed a machine that prints unlimited paper ducks and convinced the country the paper ones are worth exactly the same as the golden ones. Once everyone agreed to trade paper ducks, the banks could flood the pond or drain it whenever they wanted. Boom equals asset bubbles and fat bonuses. Bust equals foreclosures and buying everything for pennies. They win coming and going. That machine is your Federal Reserve. The public would never have accepted a private central bank owned by Wall Street in normal times. So Wall Street manufactured the perfect crisis first. The Knickerbocker Trust fails. Panic spreads. Bank runs all over New York. Who rides in to save the day? J.P. Morgan personally. He locks the biggest bankers in his library overnight and forces them to pony up cash to stop the bleeding. America cheers Morgan as a hero. The message lands exactly as planned. We need a central bank or this will happen again. Fast forward to Jekyll Island. Night after night, they hammer out the details. They make sure the Federal Reserve is privately owned by the member banks, the 12 regional Fed banks. Private corporations, stock owned only by banks. You and I can't buy a single share. The New York Fed president, the real power, is chosen by those private banks, not elected by you. And the killer feature. The Fed can create unlimited dollars out of thin air and loan them to the government at interest. Every dollar in circulation today was born as debt. Someone, somewhere, owes interest on it. They knew Congress would never pass this in daylight, so they waited until the Christmas recess. Most members had already left Washington. The ones still in town were exhausted and ready to go home. The bill sails through. Wilson signs it. Mission accomplished. Years later, Woodrow Wilson wrote something he never thought the public would read. I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. A great industrial nation is controlled by its system of credit. All our activities are in the hands of a few men. He knew exactly what he had done. So, what has this creature cost regular Americans? Take a $1,913. Put it in a time machine. Bring it to 2025. That dollar now buys what 2 cents bought back then. 98% of your money's purchasing power stolen, legally, over one lifetime. A loaf of bread in 1913, nickel. Today, $4 to $6. A new Ford car in 1913, $490. Today, $45,000 plus. Average house in 1913, $3,500, about 3 years of the average wage. Average house today, $450,000, 12 to 20 years of the average wage. You now work 4 times longer for the same stuff your great-grandpa bought with pocket change. Every major crash since 1913 follows the same playbook. The Fed pumps cheap money, gives stocks, real estate, everything skyrockets, gives Wall Street cashes out. Gives Fed slams the brakes, gives middle class, gets wiped out, gives banks buy the wreckage cheap. Great Depression. Fed fueled the 1920s bubble, then crushed the money supply. 1970s stagflation. Nixon killed the last gold tether in 1971. Inflation went berserk. 2008. Greenspan kept rates at 1% for years. Housing bubble, then yanked the punch bowl. 2020 to 2022. Fed printed $8 trillion in 18 months. Stocks and houses for the rich went to the moon. Your groceries jumped 30%. Same trick, different decade. And the national debt? $37 trillion. Every single one of those dollars was created by the Fed and loaned to the government. The government can never pay it off. Because if it did, there would literally be $0 left in circulation. The system is designed to grow debt forever. That's not a bug, it's the feature. Your paycheck gets hit last. When the Fed prints trillions, the new money hits Wall Street and big corporations first. They buy assets before prices go up. By the time it trickles down to your salary, eggs are already $8 a dozen. The rich get richer on the way up. You get poorer on the way up. That's the Cantillon effect. Look it up. The worst part. It's still getting worse, faster. The Fed's balance sheet went from $800 billion in 2008 to almost $9 trillion in 2022. That's not quantitative easing. That's counterfeiting on a scale that would put you in federal prison for life if you tried it in your basement. And who owns the assets that went up the most? BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, the same cartel that owns the big banks that own the Fed. They literally print money, buy the country with it, and charge you interest for the privilege. So where does this leave you in 2025? Your dollar is melting in real time. Your Social Security is backed by IOUs from a government that can only pay by printing more. Your house is owned by a bank until the day you die. And every time you swipe your card, a cut flows back to the same people who met on that island 117 years ago. This isn't a glitch. This isn't bad management. This was the plan from day one. The scam isn't broken. It's working exactly as intended. The only question left is what you're going to do with the truth now that you see it. Comment the year it all started, 1913. If you're done being played, like and subscribe if you refuse to stay a debt slave. See you in the next one, and remember, they need you ignorant. Don't give them that.